Hello YouTube. I just want to begin by saying that I have written this story myself. I'm no professional writer or anything, but I tried to make it as entertaining as possible. So without further ado, let's begin. This story begins almost 20 years ago. I was very young at the time, living a good childhood, had good parents and a respectable upbringing. I would go to school during the day, go out with my friends afterwards, and play video games at night. My daytime life was full of laughs and very much enjoyable. However, nighttime for me was a different story. That is when demons and all other kinds of nighttime monsters would come out to torment me. I would hate bedtime. It was a very traumatic time for me being so young. My parents would always tell me how I would be screaming in the middle of the night or walking around the house mumbling to myself. I could never remember any of this. Not only at home would this happen, but at my grandma's too. Like something would follow me around. They do say that not only homes can be haunted, but actual people too. So, I would go to sleep around 9:30 p.m. I have terrible nightmares this night. Nightmares of disfigured beings chasing me around dark places. They catch me, they talk, but it's not words that humans would speak. It's more like demonic grunts and hissing sounds. I then feel 3 sharp blades pierce through my sides. I couldn't see this, but it felt like this demon's hand was a claw and each finger was a blade. I was terrified. This was the first night of many to come that I would face fear like this. The next night, though, is where things began to get a lot realer and a lot more terrifying than any dream could ever be. It is now that next night. I had forgotten all about the dream from the previous night. The first few dreams of the night were happy and not in any way scary. But then it happened. The dream begun with me being in my bed. I sat up to look around. My bed was perfectly normal, but my entire room was dark. Everything else in my room was twisted and evil looking. It was like everything in there had been untouched for 100 years, rotting and decaying. I did not want to leave my bed. In a way, I felt stuck there. As I looked around the room, that's when I heard the familiar growling and hissing noises from the night before. The same creature slowly walked out from the shadows, then stopped. He had a menacing grin and began to laugh, the most disturbing laugh to this day I have ever heard. Something then crept out from the shadows beneath him. It was this huge slug-like creature that looked horrific. The slug then slowly started to worm itself towards me. As this began, the laughing grew louder and became 100 times more evil. It was echoing all around me, like there was more than one thing laughing now. The slug was getting closer. I felt like this was his pet, and the demon guy knew that this was scaring me. I had to get out of this dream now, I thought to myself. The slug now inches away from me. I'm panicking. The slug's mouth began to open. It grew unnaturally big as it got ready to devour me. At this point, the dream was too much to handle. It was like being in hell itself. The slug never got to eat me as the dream faded away, but this experience was only just the beginning. As the dream faded, I woke up, but I couldn't open my eyes. I could not move. I had entered sleep paralysis for the first time in my life. I did not know what was happening. I could hear loud, vibrating sounds and whooshing sounds all around me. Then it happened. Bang, bang, bang. Something was slowly but heavily walking up my stairs. I could hear the same laugh from my dream, quiet at first, but then increasing in volume as the banging got closer. I knew it was him. I was in big trouble now, and also feeling confused and shocked that I felt awake but I couldn't move, I couldn't see. This demon was now in real life, it seemed, but had somehow paralysed me to prevent me from running to my parents' room and getting any help. It was now a few steps from my bedroom door. The laughing was so loud, the presence so close, I felt my entire body shaking. I tried to scream out for help, but nothing came out. As it was right outside of my door, the banging footsteps stopped. It was now just standing there ready to enter my room. Then I woke fully. I was able to move and open my eyes. I didn't hesitate for a second to start screaming for my parents. I was crying and scared to death. For many nights and a few more years to come, this became a part of my life. The dreams, the sleep paralysis. There was nothing much I could do about any of this. I grew up and the dream stopped. So did the sleep paralysis. It was now all a part of my past, and I began living like normal once again. I had even forgotten about all of this, but then last night it all came rushing back to me. It started with a normal dream, a random dream that did not make much sense at all. There were around 10 people around me in a room. I noticed on a table next to me there was a strange looking ornament. I went to pick it up for a closer inspection. I just thought, that's cool, and put it back on the table. I looked up to see everyone in the room just staring at me. The whole atmosphere of the dream shifted fast, and I had a huge sense of fear. The room started to turn black, and objects began to melt and decay away. I felt like I had been here before. From the other end of the dark room appeared this guy. He was huge and very intimidating. It makes me apologize for touching the ornament, but when I do apologize, he just stands there with this menacing grin and begins laughing. The same laughter I had heard many times before. At this moment I realized and remembered everything from my childhood. Oh my God, I thought to myself, no way, it can't be him. I thought to myself, he has been gone for so many years now, there's no way that that's him again. Just as I thought that, he spoke. I'm back. The very second after he said that, I woke up into the most intense sleep paralysis I had ever had. The laughing was so loud directly into both my ears. Then, bang, bang, bang. I'm now living in an apartment. So instead of it coming from up the stairs, it was now walking across the hallway from my front door to my bedroom door. It reached outside my door and stopped. I woke up covered in sweat, breathing heavily. I was in total shock about what had just happened, and I did not sleep for the rest of that night. It's now 9 PM, the day after. I don't want to sleep tonight. I am terrified at the thought of going to sleep tonight. Terrified of the thought that this is going to be my life again. I have a sinking feeling, though, that it is. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that story, guys. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment if you like, and I will write more stories in the future. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.